Y'all watched me lay this out the other day and it's turning out so pretty, and I sewed a whole bunch of it because y'all don't want to sit here and watch me sew the whole thing. But I had picked up all of my rows like this, and we're going to sew the last row together and then sew that row to this row and this row to this row. If you look at my points in here, they're all not matching, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to find joy in sewing, and that's what I'm doing. So here is what I've already sewn, and I've sewn this row, and this is our last row. Now remember, it was lined up like this. I picked it up and I put the top block on top of the next one, on top of the next one, on top of the next one, all the way down, so they would be in the order that I needed them. I left my numbers pinned on here so that when I sewed it together, I would know. I'm going to fold this over just like this. I'm going to sew right here, and when I open it back up, I will forget which one is supposed to be my top block. So with this pinned on there, I know it's the top one. So then the next block I will sew to the bottom of here. Otherwise, I would sew the third block to the bottom of this one or the top of this one, and then I wouldn't have the design that I'm looking for. Use whatever method you like to keep your blocks in order. And when I first started, I would sew 2 blocks and lay it back down, then pick up the third block, sew that, lay it back down, pick up the 4th block, sew that, lay it back down. You get the idea, because I never could quite get them in the order that I wanted them in, and I finally have it figured out in my own mind. But you use whatever method works for you. So what we're gonna do is pick up our stack, and I'm going to take the first block and the second block. I'm going to turn them pretty side to pretty side. I'm going to sew right here, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. Now I'm going to open that up. Do you see? And because I have this number pinned up here, I know that's the top of my row. So I know the next block goes here. So I'm going to pick it up and turn it pretty side to pretty side, and I'm going to sew this together, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because y'all know my grandma scared me. And I'm going to continue to sew my blocks until I have my whole last row sewn. I absolutely love this design, and my squares are 3 inches, but if I had made them 5-inch squares, this would be a much larger quilt, which might be what I do next, because now I have this mini quilt that'll be precious for a baby doll. But if I do that, then I have to make a second one, or it would be cute as a wall hanging, or I might just use this patchwork fabric that we've sewn together, cut it up, and make something else out of it. Okay, we've sewn it. Now let's iron it. This is my ironing situation. Heat resistant pad, wool mat, Oliso Mini Pro 3 iron, and our precious patchwork. I'm not ironing my seams in one direction or the other. I really don't care what it looks like on the back. I just want the front of it to be reasonably flat, just because it'll make my work look better. And if you're not ironing, I'm not judging. We've ironed it, and here's what we have. Our whole little mini quilt. So I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to lay them pretty side to pretty side. I'm going to sew down this side, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when I start and when I stop. And y'all know how I feel about making your seams match. Pinch it, pleat it, or pull it, whatever you got to do, because if it gets off right here, by the time you get to the bottom, you have one that's half a square shorter than the other, and we don't want that, I promise. Now we're just going to sew this with a straight stitch, a 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when we start and when we stop, because my grandma said so. Putting the numbers at the top and pinning those helped me keep all of my rows straight, and that was super helpful. Okay, we've sewn these 2 rows together. Now I'm going to sew these 2 rows to the rest of our mini quilt, and I'm not sure I'm going to make it a mini quilt. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might quilt it and make it a mini quilt, or I might make something else. I don't know yet, but I'm super excited about whatever it turns out to be, because it's so cute. Okay, pretty side to pretty side. We're going to sew down this side. Same, straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Pinch it, pleat it, or pull it. Just make sure your seams match. Not this, because the squares are too small, and I don't want to sew that many little squares together, but I'm definitely doing this same design as a shower curtain for my little lady's bathroom. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, now let's iron it and see what we have. Y'all, this is so pretty, but now it's so much fun to work with my fabric, obviously, right? It's so surreal to be making things out of ladybugs that my little ladies and I drew, and they colored in. I hope I have a million more collections, but I can promise you this one will always be special, super special. Not only because it's my first one, but because the little ladies had such a big hand in it. And And I want to order extra so that when they learn to sew in a few years, I can teach them to sew with the fabric that was inspired by them, right? I mean, why would they learn to sew with anything else? Okay, this is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I don't care what the back of it looks like. I'm not interested. I only care that it's reasonably flat on the front. The big baby going out. Now we need to decide, what are we going to be? Are we going to be a mini quilt, a wall hanging? Are we going to not quilt it and turn it into something else? What do y'all think we should do with it? I can't wait to hear all of the ideas that you have. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.